Hello and welcome to the 2022 Data4Good Awards interview series. I am Michael Fillios, founder and CEO of IT Ally, and it's my honor to introduce Carrie Fassett, Director of Partnerships and Impact at Greater DC Diaper Bank. The bank was recognized recently for their exemplary use of data in the award category of no poverty. Carrie, welcome, and the IBM team as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we'll kick it off. Carrie, tell us about your company's passion around leveraging data for the betterment of society.
Absolutely. So we're tackling a big issue, diaper need. That, of course, exists within a much larger issue, poverty, more specifically parenting and caregiving while experiencing poverty. We're a small team. There's fewer than 10 of us at the diaper bank. And so we've known from the very beginning that we needed to be smart and efficient, and data was an essential part of this. We knew we needed to be smart about how we got diapers and other essential products into the hands of families that need them most in the DC area. And so we started by figuring out how to collect data on all the products, the ins and the outs that we were distributing to the area. And we've used data very efficiently. Very proud to say that this year our small team is going to distribute over 10 million diapers to the DC area, to probably around 30,000 families. And while that is amazing, we know it's not good enough. And we know we need to get even smarter and more efficient with how we use data. And that was really the impetus that led us to wanting to work with IBM and this is really important project.
Terrific. Thank you. It's amazing what you've accomplished. And your company won an award actually for no poverty. Tell us about your work in this category.
Right. So we distribute, again, focusing on families that are experiencing poverty and caregivers experiencing poverty. And we focus on those that are caring for babies. We are providing diapers and other essential hygiene products and gear to families around the region. And not a very well-known fact, but around 1 in 3 families struggle to afford enough diapers. And while this is, I think, an issue that's been getting more coverage in recent years, it's still one that's not very well known. And we work with over 75 nonprofit partners in our area to distribute those diapers, nearly 1 million a month. Diaper need leads to all other host of problems, not just for baby, but for the family. It can, as any basic need, it is necessary, and it can, if you don't have it, it leads to a lot of stresses for that family. So we're providing these products on a regular basis to families. We, on average, provide around $34 worth of product to a family. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that little bit of padding in a family's budget is used for other essential items, food, housing, transportation, or savings. And it sounds like, again, it sounds like a little bit, but it can go a long way. And while we are distributing a lot of diapers, we know we're just scratching the surface.
You mentioned your partners at IBM. Is there anything else you'd like to add there?
Yeah, this is Carlo. Hey, we worked with Carrie. I'm Carlo Appugliese. I lead the client engineering team, our AI and ML teams, and we've been tackling some of the big problems. We have worked on trying to reduce poverty. We've been helping organizations become more sustainable, and we're fighting disease, right? And it's kind of in our DNA. So when we had the opportunity to work with the Greater DC Bank on this problem, we jumped at it. Our team is a cross-functional, diverse group of engineers, from data scientists to solution engineers, and we really ideate in an incubator kind of approach where we get together, we innovate, and we really apply AI, and we try to keep AI responsible. It is really part of what we do. And it was an exciting project. I was happy to work with Carrie, and Aakanksha was one of our lead data scientists. We apply statistical languages and approaches using machine learning AI to this problem, and we were pretty happy with the interactive map that will help visualize some of the need in the DC area. So it's a pretty exciting project. I don't know, Aakanksha, if you want to add to that a little bit.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the most exciting things as a data scientist on this project was building that holistic view of what was going on by creating a data fabric which combined data from multiple external open source systems with Greater DC Diaper Bank's in-house data. and bringing all of that together for analytics and for the dashboard visualization.
Awesome. What I love about this is not only, is the outcome of what we're achieving, what you all are achieving, but also the fact that you've got this capability with IBM working with a very small team and company is just a fantastic example of how to leverage this great technology that exists out there for large or small, organizations. So maybe, Carrie, we can talk a little bit about, your future plans and building on this success to continue to leverage data for the betterment of society.
Absolutely. So this tool, this project has fundamentally changed the way that we tackle this problem in our region. So while before we were collecting data and we could sort of see the gaps around the region from, where were we not sending enough diapers, what this tool allows us to do is at a hyper local level, we can go in, not just see how many diapers we're distributing to that area, but what's that gap? How many families are we not reaching? We can quantify that now. We can put numbers around it. We can go in and talk to elected officials and say, here's what it's going to take to end diaper need in your specific jurisdiction. And we can bring community leaders in, community leaders and community organizations that are already working with families, potentially those families that we're not reaching. And we can start those conversations and say, here's the gap. Here's what it's going to take. We can put some funding around those numbers and say, here, let's build some sustainable solutions so that year after year, we don't have to worry about this anymore. We can make sure these things are in place and they're going to last. It just fundamentally changes the conversation. And what's really exciting is that this tool is scalable. And I know IBM has already started working with the National Diaper Bank Network. That's the organization that helps and oversees all diaper banks in the US. And this tool is scalable for all of them. And it's scalable for all, not just for babies, but just for all age groups as well. So you can look at period poverty, you can look at adult incontinence need. And so it's really a great tool that's going to fundamentally change how we approach these issues going forward.
I appreciate you clarifying that, because that was certainly a question I had in my mind in terms of how do we now leverage this in a more broader capacity. You talked a little bit about sort of engagement with the external stakeholders and the benefactors of this, but maybe you can talk a little bit about internally and how this idea was hatched and conceived and got supported by your C-suite and board and others to be able to make it a reality.
Right. We've known, like I said early on, we've known that we've needed data from the very beginning, and we've been very data centric from the beginning. And as a nonprofit, we're very fortunate that that's been the case. It's not always the case that you invest in technology early on, but we did, and we were very fortunate, and that has led us to be ready to do this kind of project with IBM. And I will say that our C-suite has always been supportive of data. It's part of our DNA. And but I would be remiss not to say that we've got several very important principles that we follow around data and data collection and the use of data that really guide us day to day. And those are that we keep barriers low. We don't ever want our data collection or data use to be a barrier for a family or a partner in receiving our services or our products. Efficiency is also very important. We only collect what we need. And that for us means we're not collecting personally identifiable information on families. The most intrusive we get is the zip code, but as you can see, that still allows us to do some pretty incredible things. Equity is important throughout all of our collection and our analysis processes. Transparency. We will always share our data. It doesn't belong to us. It belongs just as much to our partners in the community. And then finally, balancing our own evaluation and data needs with those of our funders. This is pretty common across all nonprofits, balancing those two needs. Funders don't always have the same ideas about what you should collect and how you should collect it. And so for us, we bake in, proper data governance into our day-to-day.
Excellent. Any comments on the IBM team, please?
Yeah, I would say on this topic, we have our leader, Arvin, is committed to responsible AI. He recently put a video out on this. And as AI makes more and more decisions, we have a human-centered approach around data and AI. It's really not just about AI, it's about AI with humans. And it's important that those decisions that are happening through technology are transparent, explainable, not biased and governed. And the key there being governed. As leaders in tech, we have the privilege to really innovate in a space to help benefit organizations and society. But with some of that privilege comes responsibility, and responsibility to ensure that technology is trustworthy, transparent, and ethical. And that's a key part of what we're trying to do, and has a positive impact on the world. So IBM aims to be responsible stewards of technology and considers that ethics and the impact of technology before deploying them. So that's kind of key to what it's really built in our culture and our DNA. IBM's transparent. I mean, we actually are transparent, embedded into what we do. We share annual corporate responsibility reports, and we've also established an AI ethics board. So it's important that we invest in this area. Our research team works close on all the technology, our products teams, and this is a key space for us to make sure that we're responsible and that AI helps humans and companies for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like a great partnership. And, Carrie, you talked a little bit about some of the, I would call, guiding principles, that help steward sort of your decisions around data. And then you also mentioned data governance. As you look at data governance more specifically, how do you see that playing a greater role as you move forward over the next, for the next initiative over the next decade or so?
Right. And I think what's happening, we see two trends, and one is this hyperlocal trend and being able to get data and use data like in this tool that allows you to go to a hyperlocal level to solve some of these issues, which is incredibly helpful because that is where families are, that is where community leaders are, community groups, and being able to engage them at this different level using data as a new tool is critical. And take that up a couple levels for these issues. When you have these data and you have these pilot programs that are successful at a local level, then you can start thinking about legislation at a higher level that you can inform, and that would be part of our role, informing these other efforts at the national or the state or even county level to implement more sustainable solutions going forward. Carlo talked about AI and using AI in these ways. It's, we need to make sure people know AI is not scary. It's really an essential tool that can be used in the fight against poverty and these other huge issues that nonprofits are working with. There is no one size fits all solution. AI helps us get to those very hyper-local community solutions that will be effective and that will work.
Yeah, on that point, yeah, go ahead, Carlo, please.
I was just to add a little, AI is important, and I like how you put it, Carrie, that it's not scary. But as AI grows, AI is helping clients. There's also potential ethical issues with AI that we have to address. And this is where enterprise have to take action around countering bias in your data, privacy concerns, and common challenges. Any good that we do can be overshadowed if we don't, responsibly employ AI. So that's where trust comes in. We need to make sure that our technology can be trusted and that it's transparent. And this is when we talked a little bit about governance, I think, to the point of the topic. But, I think, Aakanksha, you had some topics in this area you wanted to talk about as well.
Yes, so as Carlo mentioned, trust is really at the center of everything that we speak about in governance. Trust in data, trust in models, and trust in that end-to-end data pre-processing, model development, deployment, that end-to-end process. And as we start to think about this from a data science standpoint, a lot of questions need to be answered before we go out and deploy something in production. Who has access to the data? What kind of access do they have? Who is building the models? How many times is a model being changed or updated? Who is the model impacting at the end of the day? And when we think about the data, how often is the data changing? Our systems aren't static anymore, so we can't expect the data to be static. The data will change. How often is it changing? Who is affecting that change? Who is influencing that change? Are we tracking all of that end to end? So just making sure that the systems are transparent, they are explainable, there is fairness embedded in it. All of that brings us to an ethical and responsible AI that everyone can trust at the end of the day.
Fantastic. I love it. Great additions there, commentary. So as you look forward now, and any additional details you'd want to share, I guess I'll open it up for any general comments you want to share about this particular award or other things that you're looking at doing in the future.
So I just want to say how fortunate and how grateful the Diaper Bank is for this opportunity to have worked with IBM. We are a small but mighty team, but we are very limited in terms of our capacity. And so this opportunity to work with IBM and their incredible data scientists has expanded our reach in ways that I'm not sure we would have gotten to on our own. We would not have. And it really is, we are already seeing the benefits of it. We have already reached out and are working one-on-one with some elected officials using this tool, using the data. It has already expanded our reach. And so we just are very, very grateful. This is, I hope, a model that can be used with other nonprofits and on other, issues that are being tackled. So thank you.
And it was our pleasure really to do this project. I think the team enjoyed it. We love working on these type of problems, and in many companies today, leveraging data are able to benefit. However, data and AI should be applied to all problems, no matter how big and how small. And it's our job to try to figure out ways to make this more scalable and accessible, so that it could be used for a variety of problems. Because anytime you apply data and AI, you have a bigger chance of success, and it's no better problem than to work on. And then this one around poverty, which is important, dear to my heart. I don't know, Aakanksha, if you have anything you want to add. I know the team enjoyed the project considerably.
Yeah, the team had an amazing time partnering with Carrie and her team, just figuring out all the different data sources, trying to think through how we want to bring that together in one place, designing the dashboard together. So it was a really exciting time for the whole team. And thank you, Carrie, for the partnership.
Thank you.
Carrie, Carlo, Aakanksha, congratulations once again on this amazing accomplishment, and thank you for sharing everything that you've done to make this become a reality, which I know will benefit many others in the future. And to learn more about these interviews, please visit cdomagazine.tech. And thanks again, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.